Conscious leadership, creating positive impact in your life and the life of others. Hi, welcome back everyone to another episode of the Mind Engineer community. Today talking about conscious leadership. This is something that I've been studying now for a while, and I want to start introducing more on this with the different topics that I cover, because I feel that is a very important thing for our life. First of all, because we are all friends, we have family, we have maybe kids, we might work with other people. And I feel that this conscious leadership is a very important topic that we need to bring more to our awareness, be practicing more consciously the different things that this means. So let me share a little bit today. What do I believe conscious leadership means? So what I want to first of all bring here is that most of these things that I share have been, taught for many years now by Daniel Goleman, Brené Brown, John Whitmore, and many others out there that have done a really amazing impact in the world. And I learned from them and many others, and it created a big impact in my life, and I want to share that with others. So when I talk about conscious leadership, what I mean here is being aware of your inner world. Leading others, it could be friends, it could be family, it could be in any area of your life. You can apply conscious leadership as being able to be more self-aware, be more aware of what's going on in your inner world. Whenever somebody says something that bothers you, whenever you're feeling sadness, whenever you're feeling some type of negative emotion, being able to be as aware as when you are happy, joyful, enjoying yourself. Because a lot of people, unfortunately, for many years now, and it's amazing because in her book, Brené Brown, that talks about conscious leadership, she started working with special forces, military in the U.S., Air Force. She worked with thousands and thousands of people in the U.S. and around the world. And when she started studying the manual, the protocols in the Navy or Air Force or military, it doesn't matter, but in one of those areas, in the newer manuals, they were speaking about different things that came from an older version. So she started going backwards, and she found that in 1940, 1950, when the first handbook was written, back then the words love, compassion, companionship, empathy, and many others very loving words were in the manual, and then later on they were eliminated. And her job, and you can look it up, the story, because it's amazing listening to this, is she was introducing that back to the military, to the special forces, because she realized that the human side of people were disconnected. And that's why so many people were developing so many problems, stress, anxiety, burnout, and all that, even post-traumatic stress, because they were lacking, now I'm going to, the dealing with the emotions correctly, that is called emotional intelligence. So she has been helping for many years now reintroduce emotional intelligence, because they had it in the military and the special forces many years ago, and then they eliminated. So for many years, people have been teaching how to intellectually get over struggles, pain, emotional pain, dealing with their emotions, but it has been the wrong way. Seriously, the military or whatever force she was working with, she proved that it was there before in the beginning, and then it was taken out. And people started seeing the impact that it had because of the lack of emotional intelligence. So something that I love from Daniel Goleman says that what is going to dictate the success of a person has nothing to do, and listen to this because it blew my mind when I started studying this many years ago, and I'm sharing more of this now. Daniel Goleman destroyed the psychology that most people were talking about, because many years ago, the IQ was the determination of how much success you were going to have in your life. IQ, intellectual coefficient. But Daniel Goleman, through his theories and then his thesis, he proved that it had nothing to do with the IQ. 80% of success was given by EI, that is emotional intelligence. So it was the right dealing with their emotions that started showing what a person could do in their life. Because when we face a challenge, we can have all the intellect, all the knowledge on how to face it. But if we don't know how to deal with our emotions, in most cases, the emotions take over, the more developed brain shuts down, and we start acting from fight or flight mode, where the intellect has very little impact. So when we learn how to deal with our emotions, it is easier. I'm not saying it's easy, as I always say. I tell people I can teach you how to navigate a storm the best way possible, but that doesn't mean that you're going to deviate from your north because of the storm, winds, and things like that. Sometimes we need to bring, the sails down because they can be broken by the wind, by the storm. So we can get deviated, but we can still make it through the storm. What most people find themselves is they get stuck and they cannot move forward. And that's why I feel that these things are things that I want to share more and more through my work. And that's why I'm going to start talking more about conscious leadership. So self-awareness, what's going on in my inner world? When do I get triggered? Why do I get triggered? What are the type of things that I dislike from other people that might be inside of me I might not be even aware of? That's why conscious leadership, because you start becoming more conscious of your mechanisms, of your coping mechanisms, of your behaviors, of your emotions, and you start dealing with them in a much different way that most people deal with them. So self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and start being able to connect with your values and purpose to start driving from there. Because when we start connecting deep with our values, it makes it easier when we face difficult moments. So the idea with this work is just keep sharing very similar things I've been sharing, but more direct into this conscious leadership, because we need to start leading ourselves from within. Even then, if you're not going to lead anyone, it doesn't matter, because you're learning how to lead yourself. The more you learn how to lead yourself, when you get in touch with people, you can help people feel comfortable around you. You can create a positive impact around you. And it's amazing because in one of those books, I think it's Daniel Goleman, he's talking about how we impact people even when we're not aware. When you go shopping and you smile at the person in the counter, or you smile at the cashier, or somebody is around you and you're aware of them and you say hi, those type of things create impact. So we impact more people than we're aware of, because people think that impact is giving a big lecture with lots of people, or having a course and sharing, or having a YouTube channel and sharing stuff. No, you're impacting people just around you all the time. So as we learn how to start leading ourselves, leading our emotions, learning how to deal with them, becoming more aware of the different mechanisms and things that we're running in the background that we're not even aware of. Remember that the mind is 90 to 95% is subconsciously. You're not even aware of it. The other 5 to 10% is conscious mind. So the idea is through this to share more insight and tools that I've been sharing, right? It doesn't change much, it's just changing the words. Conscious leadership, to start helping people lead their life in a different way and be able to impact others in a much more positive way, and also create an environment where we can influence more people in a good way, not manipulation at all. Is you, being loving, being caring, being authentic. And that's another part of the conscious leadership, being authentically you. And that's when people start listening. That's when people are more open to sharing. And even if they don't agree with you, that they feel safe to share something, even if you don't agree, and be able to hold space for whatever they're sharing, even if you don't agree. So that's what I want to share more about this conscious leadership, to help more people start doing this inner work, because it starts from within. If we want to make changes in our life in any area, we need to be able to lead ourselves consciously, self-awareness, emotional intelligence, connect with our values, connect with this drive inside of us that is there already. That is going to create emotional regulation, is going to create more clarity, more focus, and more mental resistance. Many of the things that people are trying to develop, but they're doing it the wrong way because they're trying to just become more focused by pushing themselves, by reducing the noise around them. But they're not realizing the noise that is happening within us. We all have a lot of noise that we're not even aware of. And the idea through this work is to become more aware of what we are not aware of. So let me know what you think about this that I just spoke, that I just shared. If this is something that you've heard before, is this something that you want to learn more about? Let me know what you think, because I'm going to be sharing more and more. And it's very similar to emotional intelligence, dealing with our emotions and all that, but now going into the conscious leadership, leading my life, and then being able to impact the life of others around us. So let me know what you think. I'll read you later. I appreciate